So I don't know if this is my first or my third or my second video in this little series of collector's editions, but either way I'm going to do the same recap. Black Friday and a huge GameStop sale offloaded me with some crazy collector's editions for games that I either already had or was thinking about getting, but since they were so cheap it was worth it to me. And today's no different. This is actually the game that I already had, and that is the Callisto Protocol. So this massive $200 behemoth was like 40 bucks. So I want to unbox this thing for you guys today, but I also want to talk a little bit about Callisto Protocol. So after I unbox it, I'll make sure to say something again. I'm going to talk about this game because it had the unfortunate nature of coming out right before the Dead Space remake, so a lot of people forgot about it. And I thought the game itself was pretty decent, except for one thing, and it's going to be pretty spoiler-y-ish. So I do want to talk about that later in the video. But first, let's open this bad boy up, check it out, and just go from there. Well, I'm going to have to do this one a little different because this thing is so big that I cannot do a top-down camera on it. So we're going to just cut into it, I guess. The game itself, I originally got it for the Xbox, and that's what I played it on and thought it was pretty cool. This collector's edition, for the sake of getting something a little different, is for the PS. Is it taped on the bottom too? It is. It's for the PS5, which is cool because I heard the PS5 incorporates the controller a little bit, so I think that warrants another playthrough. How about you? This game is pretty good, pretty short, so I'm not against doing that. Woo! That's a gory mess. Check this out. Pretty neat. Black Iron Special Projects Division. Has a big gnarly monster on the side and the back. Pretty neat. So, let us open her up. So on the top, it has some stuff, and then inside it has some stuff. I'm gonna pull this down so I can pull this out. Sorry for the jump cut there. Had to get this thing out. So it's in this styrofoam prison. Oh wow. Well, real quick, let me show you this because this is less important. We have a steelbook and a couple of pins. No game in it. Am I a weirdo here? I'll figure that out in a second. But here is a sketchbook with looks like it has just some art from the game, but the statue, wow. So I can see why this was a couple $100. This thing is heavy, real heavy. Let's put it together. Yeah, that's what you get. So you have the 2 head and your main character kind of defending himself. I'm gonna pan over with the camera now and show this thing a little bit better. So as you can see, it is very detailed. I mean, you got the two head here. He's all opened up. He has his two hands, has a little gnarly stabby hand. Your main character with his gun, full face helmet on, holding on for dear life. Pretty cool, pretty neat, really well detailed. And like I said, very heavy, a lot heavier than you think it would be. So that's like kind of the big deal with this collector's edition. Now, what I want to talk about with the game a little bit is the game itself. It really kind of drew some criticism because, you know, it came out from the ex-developers, or at least some people on the team for Dead Space, right before the Dead Space remake, and it was kind of chalked up to be, you know, better than Dead Space. And then when it started out, people were really against this game because it was very different than Dead Space. And not like in the atmosphere or the monsters, which I think everyone wanted that, and that's what they got. But in the gameplay itself, this game, it's really melee focused. I mean, it's way more melee focused than you would think. In fact, if you're not running out of ammo, then you're doing it wrong. Because, I mean, essentially you need to beat everything with melee and then finish them with the bullets, not start with the guns. And so, you know, once you kind of got the hang of that, or at least that realization, or didn't mind that this was more of a melee-focused game, this was definitely a game that you probably really enjoyed, like myself. I thought it was really good. But I am not one to not have a criticism, and I have a big criticism with this game. And this is, you know, kind of where I'm talking spoilers, so, you know, just if you don't want to see this, kind of just go to the end of the video where I just kind of do my wrap-up on it. But spoiler time warning over. Man, so this game, you know, already threw people for a loop with it being way more melee focused and counter focused. And then you get to the final boss, which is 100% gun focused, and it sucks for two reasons. One, it changes the whole game, like literally on the final boss, so the very last thing you do, the game just entirely 100% changes. A lot of one-hit kills and stuff that you would counter in other parts of the game, but now you just get hit and die. All you do is shoot. And so, like, it just kind of sucks because it's like, man, all right, like, you just changed everything for this, and, like, that's not cool. But then on top of that, the thing that really sucks about it is if you didn't craft or don't have enough materials to craft enough ammo for the boss fight, you're just screwed. So, like, not only did you need to know, hey, like, the game's about to change 100%, so be ready for that. But also, you needed to have the materials, or at least be, like, with me, I was fortunate enough to where I had the ammo. But, I mean, man, it just, like, really sucks. I had a friend of mine who got to the end, did not have, like, barely any ammo, and essentially had a crappy save because they couldn't go back and get more stuff. So they almost had to, like, restart from, like, a way earlier spot. Luckily, they had a second save, but I don't know. I mean, that's just my thoughts on it. I think it's very crappy of them to have done that, but that's just my soapbox for this game. I overall enjoyed the game. It's literally, like, the last 5-10 minutes of the game, that final boss fight, I think they went the way wrong direction. It's absolute kind of garbage, in my opinion. So that is the massive statue. I think you can really see why that was a couple $100. It's really cool to kind of get this game, you know, on the PS5 one, because I played it originally on the Xbox. But on the PS5, I think they integrated more with the crazy controller and stuff. So, you know, I might run back through the game again. I'm not quite sure. But I was happy to share my views with you guys on this game. It's a game that I think gets a bad rap, like I said, but you know, what do you guys think below? This is kind of more a two-point question. If you've gotten this far and you watched my little spoilery part, like, what do you think of the game overall? Keep that in the comments. But also, what do you think of the statue? I mean, was this thing worth the several $100? Is it something that you would have cared enough about? Or do you think the game was worth getting the statue for because the game was good enough to warrant owning a statue for? That's another good one. Let me know down below. Okay, that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. It would be fantastic. But as always, my friends, take it easy.